Things have changed a lot since those early days of using very simple equipment and communicating by Morse code. Now in South Australia there are just under 10 manned stations supported by surface and rainfall observers. But one thing hasn't changed in those 75 years. Everybody wants to know what the weather's going to be like. The services of the Bureau of Meteorology expanded during World War II to meet the needs of the Defence Forces. And since then, the introduction of satellites and computers means that the collecting and analysing of data is faster and more accurate. But the instant weather forecasting that we now demand is only one part of the Bureau's work, according to the Regional Director in South Australia, Lynn Mitchell.
In fact, only 30% of our output goes towards public weather, as we call it. Some 70% of our effort goes into aviation. Normally speaking, they require area or route forecasts over the main air routes they're travelling. They need terminal forecasts at both ends. They need in-flight information such as the possibility of clear air turbulence, ice and headwinds, tailwinds, thunderstorm cells, all that type of information in great detail.
Well, everybody loves to blame the Bureau if the weather forecast is wrong. How accurate is it?
Well, the sceptics possibly find it hard to believe, but our verifiable accuracy rate is 85%. But such is human nature, and I can understand this. They remember us for the other 15%, some of which, of course, owing to the limitations of the science, are spectacular failures. But I think it's worth bearing in mind that Adelaide, of all the regional capitals, is leading in Australia for temperature forecasting, and it's equal leader for rainfall forecasting. So our record is up with the rest of Australia and indeed up with the rest of the world.
In the last year, Telecom received 14 million calls in Australia to their information service regarding the daily forecast. Since the introduction of television weather forecasts in 1956, weather forecasting has become a very public affair. But how many people know how it's put together? Supervising meteorologist Graham Furler.
We are very grateful, of course, for those people that get up at 3 a.m. in the morning and report to us every day. Observations are received from the sites at all times on a 3-hourly basis, except at midnight.
Once you've got all that information together, what happens then?
Well, we consider it in conjunction with a whole range of other factors. Judith, I'll just show you the chart to indicate how we process that information. You can see here we have a chart which has got a series of hieroglyphics on it representing the weather over the whole of Australia. And on the basis of those reports and in conjunction with the satellite pictures, we can ascertain what the various cloud bands are doing and the airflows. And on the basis of that information, we can then draw the isobars over the various parts of the continent to represent what's happening with the weather.
Here is the weather for today until midnight. First, the general situation.